Good morning, boys and girls, and today's read aloud has to do with recycling. This is the one that I'm going to be doing on Google Slide, but I decided to make it also a YouTube video because recycling is something that you can revisit and start learning and listen and really put into practice a lot of things that a lot of adults we practice when it comes to recycling. The title of the book is Sam Helps Recycle. Sam Helps Recycle. Sam is the dog, and he's a golden retriever, if you know. And he's surrounded by all the things that recycle. And so his owner, Maya, who's a girl, is going to try to show you what is it that they recycle and how do they do it. Okay? So this is a non-fiction book because the pictures are real and the information is real about recycling. So we're going to learn about recycle. This book is written by Judith Bauer Stamper. And Judith Bauer Stamper did a very good job with this book. So let's learn with Sam, the dog, the golden retriever, about recycling. Woof! Hi, my name is Sam. I'm helping Maya and her mom recycle our trash. I hear Maya calling me now. Gotta go. See? You might have this bin at home. For some reason you might be able to see it. Some of our trash goes into garbage cans. The rest goes into recycling bins. Maya has a big stack of newspapers ready. Wait a minute. I have to get that newspaper I hid behind the bushes. I'll add it to the stack. Cans and bottles, glass bottles are next. We put them into a separate bin. Hey, are they throwing away my dog food? No, it's okay. These cans are already empty. So here is the stack of newspapers that he's talking about. Here's the newspaper that he was hiding. So he is trying to be part of the recycling that they do. So as they talked about glass bottles and cans, some of the cans are dog food cans, but like he said, they're his, but it's already empty. That means he already ate the food, but they're not going to throw the cans in the garbage. They're going to recycle them. Plastic goes into the last bin. I run to get a bottle I left in the yard. I don't want to litter. When I come back, I get a surprise. My food bowl is in the recycling bin. Why are they throwing away my bowl again? Before I can save my bowl, Maya calls me to get into the car. She says we're going to the recycling center. We're also bringing old batteries and unused paint. It's not safe to keep them around, which is true. So you see now he has a separate bin just for plastic. But he saw his bowl. They're going to recycle it. Let's see what happens at the end. So all the recycling here is going into their car. That means that in that state where this story is taking place, recycling is upon the person who lives in the house to go and take it where it goes. Whereas where I live in New York City, the garbage truck comes and picks up the garbage, but there's another truck that picks up the recycling. My turn during the week is Mondays. So every Monday or the night before, we have to make sure that we take out all the recycling to the front of the house so that when the recycling truck comes, they pick up all of the recycling that you left there on Monday. Okay? Now, in other places, it might be another day. In other places, it might not be a truck. It might be like what they are doing which is to take it to where it goes, the recycling place or center. In some towns, sanitation workers pick up the trash on one day and recycling bins on another day. Where we live, we do our recycling ourselves. See what Sam is saying? They do it themselves. Maya's mom starts the car. Here we go. Maya's mom says that each person in the United States produces more than 4 pounds of garbage a day. That's enough to make more than 60,000 truckloads of trash. I wonder, where does all that garbage go? That's a good question. The sanitation worker picks up your garbage in front of your house, but after they collect all of that, where does the truck go? That's a very good question. I soon find out. We drive by a huge landfill. My nose can smell it a mile away. Maya's mom tells us that a landfill is a deep hole dug into the ground. It has a lining of clay and plastic at the bottom. The lining keeps the rotting garbage from leaking into the groundwater. There are big bulldozers pushing huge piles of garbage that have been dumped at the landfill. The trucks pack it down with their wide tires. So a landfill is this. A landfill is a place where all the garbage goes. All the garbage trucks go here. And you see those bulldozers? They start to crush all of that garbage to make it flat, and then somebody will put the clay in the plastic, and then they keep on putting more until they create something else. I've heard Maya say that there's just too much trash to put in landfills. That's why we have to recycle paper, plastic cans, and bottles. All these things can be reused and turned into new things, which is what we said for the last 2 days with reusing and recycling as the story before. I'm glad that we're at the recycling center, but I'm still worried about my food bowl. I watch while some people put their newspapers into a big container. Then Maya and her mom dump their newspapers. My newspaper goes in too. So this is what they do. Okay? And this is how they recycle at that center where they go and put everything. Okay? A sanitation worker comes over to pet me. He tells Maya that recycling paper saves lots of trees and lots of energy too. He explains that our recycled paper gets packed into big bales that go to a paper recycling factory. And that factory, the old paper is turned into pulp. Then it goes through a machine that turns out miles of new paper every day. So, this is all the compact of paper they have recycled. This goes to a factory. It gets crushed. It gets all watered and it turns into a pulp. And it comes out like this giant roll of paper. Okay? That's what happens. And there is another story that I hope we can get to in this month that does talk about from tree to paper, so that way you can see how paper becomes paper. Next, Maya's mom adds our bottle and cans to a big pile. A front-end loader scoops them up and dumps them into the back of a truck. It makes a horrible racket. I wish I could cover my ears. Yelp. The worker says that the bottles and cans will go to a sorting facility. That separates the glass and the metal. Then they go to a separate factory or separate factories to be recycled. Okay, and like I said yesterday, they will take all the cans, they will crush them down, melt them, and use that to make new cans. But like I said yesterday also, here goes the other part that I was saying. At one factory, the glass bottles are crushed and melted into a liquid. Then the liquid glass is poured into molds to make new bottles and other products. The cans are taken to a different place before they leave the sorting center, though they are crushed together into bales. Then they are taken to a factory that recycles metal. Recycled cans are made into new cans that can be recycled all over again. So, you take the glass, you crush it, you melt it, and it makes this melting hot glass. That's why it's red and yellow, because it's hot. But then it becomes another bottle for water, drinks, and all that stuff that we need in glass. Now over here, we have all that compact of metal. And then they take that, they melt it as well, and they turn it into liquid. And that liquid becomes the new liquid for cans. Okay? Whimper. Maya's mom unloads the plastic glass. I see my food bowl sitting on the top of the pile. The workers tell us that plastic bottles take up a lot of space. In some landfills, they may never decompose or waste away. That's why it's really important to recycle plastic. He says that the plastic is sent from the recycling center to a factory first. The plastic is cleaned. Then it is chopped up into little pieces. Finally, it is melted down and made into new plastic products. Okay? And there you see the process from the plastic they recycled to what it's becoming now. New plastic bottles. So cans, glass, and plastic can be melted and made into new ones. Paper does, but it's not melted, it's watered. Okay? Yep. On our way home, I worry about my bowl, but I still feel good about recycling. When I go into the house, I get a great surprise. Maya shows me my new red bowl. She points out the recycling symbols on the side as she fills it with food. I'm eating. While I'm eating, Maya and her mom talk about other recycled products. Maya's notebook comes from recycled paper. Some clothes are made from recycled plastic, which is true. Even some playground surfaces are made from old tennis shoes and rubber tires. So that's why you see all these tires, because this makes the plastic surface where you play in the playground, where there's a slide and there's, swings and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things that we can recycle. After I finish my food, I head straight to my doggy bed for a nap. Recycling is a lot of work, but it's worth it. The end. I hope you liked Sam Helps Recycle, because there's nothing better than save the earth. Because smart is not something you are, smart is something you get.